Tell us everything you know about trains. Trains are one of those things, it's like, some people are really, really into trains. I almost feel like that's gotta be like a DNA marker somewhere, right? Like, you know how you do those DNA tests and they tell you all those things about yourself, like whether you like cilantro or stuff, whether it tastes like soap to you. I feel like one of them is, are you gonna be a train person? Because people who like trains, it's like, it's deep. It's something deep within them. They can't explain it. They just love trains. I don't mind trains. I don't have a problem with them. But some people really, really love trains. And I feel like it's different. It is not how you pronounce cilantro. I know, we don't even use that word in Australia. We've had this conversation before. We say coriander. I made him talk about trains. Trains are great. I am a train person. Tell me what it is that fascinates you about trains. I'm open to being fascinated by trains. If anything, I'm a bit upset that I'm not more into trains. Living in Canada, the railway here really interests me. Yeah, but that doesn't explain it. They are long and cool and they hold stuff and they go fast. And I once drove over a train. My town is only a town because the rail goes through it. Yeah, which is cool. Are you saying that's what inspired you to be super into trains? Just the idea of being in a town that can only be accessed by trains, and you're like, huh. Wow, I guess if I think about it, trains are pretty cool. Yes. Oh, okay. Don't understand the fascination with trains, but there are so many train otaku here in Japan. Well, Japan's got some cool trains. I feel like it makes more sense in somewhere like Japan, especially than somewhere like Australia, because you have like genuinely cool trains. Okay. Look, here's me trying to convince everyone I'm not a train person and then start gushing about trains. Have you seen some of the trains? Obviously, you've got the Shinkansen, which is already cool. The Shinkansen is cool. It goes really fast. Look at his big old nose. Yeah, it looks so goofy. And they go really fast and they cross the entire country. That is cool. Like, the idea of that is already much cooler than a train that goes from like Cranbourne to Melbourne. But then they've got these other ones. Look at this one. Look at this one. You tell me that is not one of the coolest things you've ever seen. Look at that. Hold up. You can like, hold on. There's a video of it. Monorail in Japan that's suspended from the top. Deja vu. How is that not the coolest thing? Wait till it gets out in the open. This is just like where it exits. And then it buzzes by. Like, I've watched this whole video. Look at this. Look at that. Like, I completely get how you can be excited about trains if you've got these kinds of trains. I'm excited about this train, and we don't have anything like this in Australia. Maybe that makes it more exciting because it's like in another country and it's kind of novel. It's got to be novel even for the Japanese though. No one looks at that and says, "Oh, that's not cool." You know, you've got a dark heart if you're not excited by the idea of that. I understand if you look at that and you're like, oh, no, that doesn't look like fun to me. That looks terrifying. I'll accept that. It's something. Regardless, whether it's exciting, terrifying, or whatever, it's got to invoke some sort of extreme emotion. Look at this thing. When it like comes by, that's the future. Look at that. Living in the future. That's so dang cool. I don't really get the point. I don't understand why the train just couldn't drive along the top of the beams. I don't know what the advantage is to having it like that, other than it just being super cool. But that's probably the whole appeal of trains, is you ask yourself a question like that, and before you know it, you've studied for like an hour on trains. And then all of a sudden you're super into trains. It probably only takes one. It probably only takes a single train for you to be like, dang, you know what? I'm into trains now. I could get excited about trains if they're all like that. Joinen, you are a train person. I am not a train person. I get excited by the cheaper monorail, but I would be insulting train people around the whole world if I called myself a train person, because train people know trains. They know so much about trains. You stayed in Chiba when you visited in 2013, rode that thing every day, still don't get the appeal. You don't get the appeal? What do you mean you don't get the appeal? Look at it. Look at that. Do you not get the appeal of sunsets? Do you not get the appeal of good food? Monorails hanging from the top? These are all just like, we're just listing the coolest things, the best things in the world. You agree? It's cool exactly once? You mean like after you've been on it once, then it's not cool anymore?
Listen, Joinen, your DNA test came positive. You are predisposed to be a train person. The right train just has to come along.
You're probably exactly right. I think it's also like you got to start from a young age. I think if I would have seen that train when I was like 8, then it would have been a done deal. I think it's too late for me to become a train person. You know, I probably had the DNA marker, but I just didn't have the right like nurture, you know? Speaking of though, I've done a DNA test. It took months to get back, but I've done one, and it is going to be a video. It's going to be the world's boringest DNA video because I've got a very, very straightforward DNA, like heritage. Glass bottom. Now we're talking. That thing with the glass bottom, now that would be dang cool. You can definitely tell which one of your students might grow up to be a trainer, Taku. Yeah, I think it requires like a certain level of nurture. You've got to be predisposed, sure, but then beyond that, you've got to have the right climate to really nurture your interest in trains. Japan's the place to do it. Like, that's what I'm saying. They've got plenty of interesting trains. Other countries probably do as well. Australian trains, they're a little bit boring. Although, I found this channel the other day, Rory Ding's Travel. This guy, he reviews trains. He's a train guy, and it's so entertaining. He kind of sells me on the love of trains.
This particular platinum carriage is even more exclusive. It's called the Chairman's Carriage, considered as Australia's most luxurious rail carriage.
It's just this super wholesome channel where he just reviews trains. And you just buy it. Like you buy the enthusiasm because he just goes through, he talks through all the different like cabins and like what they look like and everything. And then he stays on the train and he hangs out with the other train people going on a train and he just kind of vlogs the experience. And he's like, his enthusiasm for it is intoxicating. And it's so like relaxing watching these videos of him just talk about trains.
Compared to the cramped ensuite in Gold Twin and Gold Superior, I think I would prefer to use this more spacious shared bathroom.
Yeah, because that's what he's always talking about. I know this from watching Rory Dinks. He does these train reviews and he's always saying that like, sure, you can get a shower in your own cabin, but what you really want is to use the shared shower anyway, because the shower in the shared cabin's really tiny, whereas the shared one, spacious. And that's the kinds of things you wouldn't know unless there were people like Rory Dinks, unless there were train people. They're making videos about trains. Shower on a train? Oh, it's starting. We're converting some people in the chat. What? I never knew. How could this be? There's a shower on a train? That sounds intriguing. I better go watch a YouTube video. 12 hours later, you won't have slept. You'll have watched all of Rory Ding's. You'll have gotten on some of the Japan ones as well. There's the Cougar's Travel. He I don't know. I think this is the one that doesn't talk. Yeah. It's just text. Again, so soothing, so relaxing. You just sit here and you watch this. Someone take a Shinkansen from Niigata to Tokyo. Something so relaxing about it. They get their snacks and everything, and then they go and they show you the seats. And then again, they'll show you all the like amenities, the toilets and the shower and stuff. There's a urinal. There's a urinal on a train. Who would have thought? Isn't that cool? And it's got its own room. You ever seen a single urinal in a single room? I think I understand how people could be excited about trains. I'm willing to sit down and share the excitement. I'm not going to go out of my way to like go on a train that costs 2 times as more as just getting the flight. Like, I don't know. I'm not that into it, but other people can sell me on their enthusiasm for it and I'll buy it. I'll gobble it up. I'll sit there and watch the train videos because they love it. And it's fun to watch.